Good evening and welcome to the NML Lambda Chapter Awards orientation. I am Torres Wilson. I happen to serve as historian as well as the awards chairman. And I'm hoping to just give some information tonight on our awards program here in the NML Lambda chapter. We'll talk about all of the categories as well as submission guidelines, and I'll be able to answer any questions that you have. Speaking of that, the Q&A is available in this session. So along the way, if you happen to have any questions, just feel free to write them in the Q&A, and I may kind of hold them until later, or I may just get to them right away. The chat is open as well, so feel free to write any comments and anything of that nature. So without further ado, let's get started. So some of the things that we'll talk about are also just new things that we're doing this year. So the categories for our chapter awards are individual awards, committee awards, spirit awards, presidential awards, and something that is added will be milestone achievements. And the first thing that we're going to talk about are the individual awards. So this category of awards, you'll hear me talk about the e-portfolio. So with these awards, and we'll look at each category in this section. But for the individual awards, brothers must submit an e-portfolio. So if you are interested in any of the individual awards, then you must submit an e-portfolio. Of course, you can't submit one on behalf of someone else, and we will not be taking nominations for this category. So if you, as we go through the categories, if you see one that interests you, then you have to take the initiative to submit your e-portfolio. Of course, some of these competitions do advance past the chapter level. So this is kind of to get started with that. For example, Brother of the Year, you submit your portfolio to the chapter. If you win at the chapter level, then you get the first right to compete at the next level, which will be at district. And then if you win, you can move forward to regional, and then some will go to the national level. If you do not decide to compete at the district level, then another brother can do that. So just be aware of that. We definitely want you to represent the chapter as the chapter recipient. But if you don't do it, then someone else can have that opportunity to. So about the e-portfolio, this is of course, an electronic document. This is just, putting together a packet pretty much with certain things depending upon the category that you're interested in. So it must include a cover page. That cover page will just have your name, ID, and your award category. Make sure that you have your cover page and that it has all of the information here, because we definitely need to know which category you're applying for. All of the materials that will be in your portfolio, there will be a certain date range that you can keep it to. So generally, it's just for a year, which for us, we consider that year to start at the close of the prior year's regional convention to the current application deadline. So our application deadline, let's say that it is May 31st, then you can go backwards all the way until the 2020 regional convention, which was in June or July. There are some categories that require more than that. So that will be identified in that individual category. As well as, we do consider projects that continue. So let's say that you participate in the college tour every year. If you've done it for the last 10 years, then that's notable. So that's fine for you to make mention that you have participated in this event for the last 10 years. And then a lot of brothers will ask, like, what do I put in there? Basically, it's just any documentation that you have for what the category calls for. So if it's asking for, you to, show that you've done community service, then typically pictures will take care of that. So that's why, I'm always talking about taking pictures, keeping documentation of everything. This is the reason why. So you can supply pictures. If you have any documents, letters, emails, pretty much anything that just kind of shows that you're involved in certain activities, then you can just simply do screenshots and just put them in your portfolio. So a lot of times, brothers are like, well, I may not have this or that, and that's okay. Sometimes I actually have pictures of you. So it's perfectly okay for you to ask me if I have them. If there's a certain event that that you attended, that there were pictures taken, but you don't know if you're in them or you don't have access to them, then it's okay for you to reach out to me and just, ask, and I'll be happy to see if I can help you out with that. Most of these categories do require a letter of recommendation. Some of them are optional, but highly recommended. And I'll just say, just look to try and get letters of recommendation because when you're competing against other brothers, that's kind of the stuff that helps set you apart. And then, if you can get as many letters of recommendations, that makes you, potentially look a little better. So if you are soliciting those letters of recommendation, they just need to be from a financially active brother in the chapter. Make sure that they date it, sign it. And your letters of recommendation should be sent directly to you. I get a lot of emails with letters of recommendation. They don't need to come to me. They need to go directly to the candidate, and then the candidate can just copy and paste that or screenshot it into their portfolio that they'll submit. So now going into the actual individual categories. These are for the individual awards. So the first award is the New Brother of the Year. So it's pretty much what the name says. This is a brother that is new to the chapter. And new to the chapter can be transitioning from another chapter, they're reclaimed, new initiates. The time period is 1 to 3 years of continuous service in Nu Mu Lambda. This award does not extend past the chapter level. So once you win it in Nu Mu Lambda, that is it. And then you'll see the criteria for your e-portfolio. So you'll submit your headshot and biography. You'll indicate, any contributions to national programs, convention attendance, contributions to the community, as well as your letters of recommendation. Prize packages are some things that we'll talk about as well. I do want to make sure that, I had that on here so you can see. And we're improving that over the year. So not only do you get an engraved award, something that we started last year was providing a gift to the award recipients. And I'll say, I believe last year's gift was pretty nice. So just keep that in mind. Next up is the Brother of the Year. So this is a brother that has made considerable contributions to the chapter over the last year. So this is one, the time frame of your portfolio will be from last year's convention to now. This category does advance all the way to the national level. So that is definitely something to think about if you're interested in potentially becoming the National Alumni Brother of the Year. This is the way to start. So the criteria for the Nu Mu Lambda Brother of the Year, as long as you have 3 or more years of continuous service, then you are eligible to apply for this award. In your portfolio, pretty much the same exact stuff that we just saw from the new Brother of the Year. And your prize package is also an engraved award as well as a gift. The Augustus M. Witherspoon Leadership Award. So this one is an interesting one because this award not only recognizes your contributions to the fraternity, but also in your chosen profession. And this spans for the last 5 years. So, you know, you're not going to go to just last year's convention. You're going to go back 5 years in all of your documents in your portfolio. This award does advance to the district and the regional levels as well. So it doesn't advance to the national level. And in this e-portfolio, you're adding a little bit more than in the other categories. So not only your headshot and biography, but also your resume or your curriculum vitae. Of course, any contributions to national initiatives. One thing that's added here is any mentoring service that you're providing. You're doing your convention attendance, also leadership. And just remember, leadership is a big thing for this particular award. So any leadership positions that you've held in the community, leadership positions that you've held at the fraternity at all levels, as well as any professional leadership contributions. So if at your job you're doing well, you know you're getting promoted, you're getting special recognition, you're getting awards, then those are the things that you want to include in this portfolio, as well as your letter of recommendation from Nu Mu Lambda Brothers. The prize package here is an engraved award and a gift. The Charles Green Award of Merit. This award is considered to be the most prestigious award at the regional level. It does not advance past the regional level, but as mentioned, it is considered the most prestigious award at the regional level. So this one spans over the last 7 years of service. So you will provide pretty much the same stuff as most of the other categories, except your time frame is 7 years on this one. The prize package here, engraved award and gift. Nu Mu Lambda's College Brother of the Year. And I don't know if we have any of the college brothers on the call, but we started doing this, one, just as a way to acknowledge our college brothers and the relationship that we have with our mentee chapters, but two, was to be able to provide some financial support to one of the brothers as well. We do recognize one of the brothers from Upsilon Omicron or Mu Alpha that have not only provided service leadership and scholarship to the fraternity, but also to their campus. So they will need to submit a portfolio and pretty much the same criteria. You see a trend here that, you know, we're showing basically contributions to the fraternity, contributions to the community. For the college brother, of course, they need to submit academic information. So they'll provide, you know, any of their scholastic achievements, as well as their transcript, which shows their GPA. In their prize package, they receive an engraved award, as well as a $500 scholarship. All right, so that's it for the individual awards. So these are just some, just general guidelines to remember if you're interested in one of these awards. You must submit your e-portfolio by the stated deadline. So I will be sending out information after this webinar that will have all the information that you need about the categories, as well as how to do your submissions and the stated deadline. So we do not accept any late submissions. Once we get those submissions, we do certify with the treasurer or the financial secretary that you are indeed financially active. And just remember that you cannot apply for more than one award in the same year. However, the committee does reserve the right to apply nominations and so your portfolio submissions to another category. And that happens sometimes because we do like to, if we have all of these available awards and like all the brothers are applying for just one award, then that allows us to then kind of spread the wealth throughout our awards so that, we don't have brothers that just don't get anything. When it comes to the e-portfolios, keep in mind that they are reviewed holistically. I get a lot of questions in regards to, brothers that may not have, done a lot of convention stuff, or they may not have done a lot of, community service. They may have done a whole lot of one thing, but, they may not have, a lot of something else. Don't worry about that. Submit what you have. We look at everything holistically. So just because you may be lacking something in one area, that does not disqualify you from an award. Just submit what you have, and we will take a look at it, we will review it, and then go from there. When you are putting together your portfolio, all of your information should be in one document. Typically it's going to be a Word document or a PDF, and you just save that and then you will attach it to the electronic submission. Very rarely there's a time or two when those portfolios have been too big to submit just that file. So we do accept Google Drive or OneDrive links only in that case that your attachment is just too big for the service. So now we'll jump into the committee awards. And it says committee awards, plural, but it's actually just one award. It's the Committee of the Year award. So this just recognizes a committee that has gone above and beyond and has maintained a positive impact on the chapter. So this award requires that the committee chairs nominate their own committees to be placed on the ballot. So there really should not be, many reasons that we don't have committees that are on the ballot, because all it takes is a committee chair to nominate their committee. And in the nomination is simply just, what did you do? Like, why should you be the committee of the year? So, you can kind of talk about the activities you've done, what impact you've had on the chapter over this last year, just whatever it is that you feel that, your committee has done to perpetuate the mission and vision of, not only the organization, but the chapter, then you should be submitting your committee for this award. So what we do is then we take the list of the committees and as well as their explanation. So it's very important for you committee chairs that as you're doing your nominations, that you don't, just do like one skimpy sentence, because when this goes on the ballot, your explanations go on the ballot as well. So when the brothers get to vote, that's one thing that they're looking at. If you just have one sentence as opposed to another committee that, they wrote a whole paragraph about what they've done, just keep that in mind when you're doing your nominations. The prize package here is, and I'm sure that you all seen the Golden Cup. So that is our rotating Committee of the Year award. And you will have your committee name as well as the committee chair's name engraved on the plate that goes on the front of the Golden Cup. There are certificates that go to the chair as well as all of the committee members, and then the committee chair receives a gift. So again, I encourage all committees, because I know pretty much all of you have been doing some excellent work. You should be submitting your committee and nominating them to be on the ballot for Committee of the Year. Moving on to Spirit Awards. So with the Spirit Awards, these awards do not require an e-portfolio. These are kind of more of the simple awards because all they require are nominations from the brothers. So the first Spirit Award is the Spirit of Brotherhood Award. So this is simply a brother that just consistently displays brotherhood, encourages camaraderie and unification within the chapter. So, I'm sure a lot of us can just think of, 3 or 4 brothers offhand that just definitely, just show that true brotherhood. And, when you think of brotherhood, these are the brothers that you think of. You can nominate them. You just put their name in and just why you think they deserve that award. And they will receive an engraved award as well as a gift. The next award is the Community Trailblazer Award. So something that we've done new, actually we started this last year, was that we started allowing community partners to be included in the nominations for this award. So now this is an award that can go to a chapter brother or a community partner that has cultivated meaningful relationships between the chapter as well as other organizations within the community. So this past year was the first year that we did give this award to a community organization, which was Big Brothers Big Sisters of Atlanta. So if you think of, a brother that has just, made those meaningful relationships with community organizations or community partners, if you think of a community organization that has been near and dear to, what we do in the community, then you can simply just nominate them. All you're doing is just putting the name and why you think they deserve that award. That's it. And they will receive an engraved award. The next Spirit Award is the Annie Singleton Award. So this one goes to a lady that has just made contributions to the chapter and just has really supported what the chapter is doing. So kind of the same thing here. If you think of a lady that, has been around, that has, done something that has actively assisted our chapter with our operations, with our mission, with any of our community service, then all you have to do is just nominate them. Just put their name in, why they deserve to win. And this award recipient receives an engraved award as well as yellow roses. So again, I can't say it enough. For the Spirit Awards, the nomination process is simple. All you're doing is just submitting their names and why they deserve the award. So I look forward to seeing a good bit of nominations for this category. All right, now we'll talk about the presidential awards. And this is kind of like the Committee of the Year awards, or just the committee awards that is showing plural here, but it's really just one. Our one presidential award is the Willie B. Lester Chapter Leadership Award. So this is actually one of the most prestigious awards that the chapter can provide. And this award is selected by the current president, and it is awarded to an elected officer that has exhibited outstanding leadership and service to the chapter. So this is something that, you know, as you look at the picture there with, that is me with Brother Lester. This award actually has been given like a while ago. So before I started or restarted the chapter awards, years ago, the chapter used to do awards, and this was one of the awards that was given. So, you know, I'm very proud to be able to continue with giving this award out in honor of our first chapter president. All right, so the new thing this year are the milestone achievements. So it's a little different than just our typical awards, but this is something that where we definitely just want to acknowledge brothers that have achieved certain milestones. So we just want to give that space for them to, you know, submit that information and for us to properly recognize them for meeting these milestones. So the milestone achievements will be becoming a life member, a 25-year brother, a 50-year brother, and a college graduate. So if any of the brothers in the chapter, and then of course any brothers in our college chapters, once they graduate, the time frame is August 31st of last year until now. So if any of you have met these or have, you know, achieved these milestones, then we have a space for you to submit your information so that we can recognize you as well as provide a gift. So you see there, you know, we did start this last year with recognizing our college graduates. So this year we are expanding that now to life members, 25-year brothers and 50-year brothers. And hopefully we can expand it even more. We think of more milestones that come up. All right, so deadlines and next steps. So, and you guys get you're first to see this because this has not been put out to the chapter yet, but it will be put out, you know, after this is done. So one thing that I've done this year that is different and hopefully will be more helpful this year is I have streamlined the entire nomination and submission process. In the past, I've had different deadlines and different links for you to pretty much do everything. And I thought that it may be a little better for you all this year if I just streamline all of that. So this year, there's only one deadline for everything, and there's only one link. So that will take you to one form, and you can do just one thing on that form, or you can do everything on that form. So it will have the, you know, if you're a candidate for one of those individual awards and you have your e-portfolio, you'll be able to attach that. If you want to do your nominations for the Spirit Awards, you can do that. If you've met one of those milestone achievements and you're submitting your information, you can do that. So everything that, you know, I've talked about in this presentation, you'll be able to do all of that in one form, and you will all have one deadline. And after that deadline, I kind of compile all of that stuff. I convene the committee and we start reviewing. There are certain categories where the committee will make that decision. There's other categories that if there's more than one that apply, then the chapter will get to vote on that. So I'll send out information in regards to e-voting and how the chapter can vote for those things. So that is pretty much it. I am going, since I have some time left, I am going to pull up a sample e-portfolio for you all to just take a look at what it could look like. But before I do that, I do want to open up and see if you have any questions at this point. So remember, you can write questions in the Q&A. If there's no questions, that means I'm doing such a great job that I was hoping to get at least one. While you all are thinking of any questions, then you'll see on the right-hand side of this slide, that, I'm always looking for brothers that are interested in joining the committee. So my contact information is there. You can see the type of stuff that we do. There's this process for chapter awards has changed a little bit every year, and that's based off of feedback from the committee. We look at how things work, and we try and streamline and make things a little easier, because we want brothers to be recognized. But we want to do it in a way that we can really give you the recognition that's deserved. So thanks for some of the comments that are coming through. Brother Kamara, is there an online location or somewhere we will be able to access this intel after the meeting? Yes. So after this, I will be sending an email to the chapter, and I'll probably have it uploaded to the leadership toolbox on our website. It will have the awards handbook. So the handbook is a document that pretty much explains everything that's in this presentation, and it will, give you everything that you need. So you'll know how to put together your portfolio. So yes, all of that will definitely be sent out to you. And Brother Taylor, I'm getting ready to pull up an example so you can see what a e-portfolio could look like. So if you have any more questions, go ahead and continue to put them in, and then I'm going to change over to that document. All right, you should be able to see my screen. All right, make this a little smaller. All right, so what I'm actually going to show you is my portfolio. And this was for the Augustus Witherspoon Award. So as you can see, and your cover page, you can make it look however you want to. Really the whole thing, you can make it look however you want it to look, as long as you just have that required information in there. So remember, on the cover page, you need to have your name, your ID, as well as the award you're applying for. And I'll just say, like, don't get scared when you look at my portfolio and you see that it's 55 pages. I kind of, I mean, I'm extra. So I just, I did this on purpose for you to just kind of see it this way, but just remember that, you know, your portfolio may be different. You know, you're not expected to have 50 pages per se. I mean, you could if you wanted to, you know, and that can definitely help you in your endeavor. But I just don't want you to be intimidated by when you see that. So this, I wanted to give you what I think is a good example, and then you can tailor it to, you know, whatever you need. So, I mean, I have a table of contents with, you know, these are all of the things that were required in my category. So I just put it nice in a table of contents. The first thing was the headshot and biography. So that's there. The next thing for this award required the resume or the curriculum vitae. And I have my curriculum vitae in here. I work in academia, so that's standard for me. And then the next thing was the Alpha program participation. So here I needed to demonstrate contributions and active participation in Alpha and Nu Lambda for the last 5 years. So what I did was I just did them kind of in categories, and I just provided pictures as well as just kind of a description of what it was. So Alpha conventions, you know, these were just pictures that I had of Voteless people as a hopeless people. All of my awards committee stuff. Botillion, Fellowship, Brothers Keeper, Collegiate Support, Community Service, the DeKalb Alpha's College Tour, Go to High School, Go to College, Health and Wellness, Historical Committee, Wesley Club, other programs. So these were just pretty much like the social events that we did. The next thing in my category required mentoring service over the last 5 years. So here, I think this is only one page that I have mentoring service, which most of my mentoring is with my job. So that's kind of the special thing about this award, is that you're doing a lot of, you know, things in your profession. So I was able to showcase that here in this section. I've done a lot of presentations, so I was able to put that here. The next thing in this category, convention attendance. So with convention attendance, I save all of my badges. So I was able to just do a screenshot of all of my badges. Of course, I just started with, you know, putting, you know, all of it, and I've attended pretty much every convention since I was initiated. So I was able to just put that there. Any involvement in the conventions, I put that there. This is for the region. And you know, this is still regional stuff, and I'm the regional chair of Fraternal Standards, so I have that information there. And then this is the general convention. So that fulfilled that requirement of convention attendance. The next thing was community leadership. So I was able to put my involvement in community organizations. That's my scholarship program I'm involved with, as well as my National Alumni Association for my institution. The next thing was Alpha leadership. So just leadership positions in the fraternity at all levels. So in a sense, this is pretty much like just my Alpha leadership resume. So I just listed all that there, have some pictures. Professional leadership. So I have copies of my professional certifications, as well as my professional affiliations. my professional awards, my committee involvements, my publications, and then the last thing are the letters of recommendation. So you just throw those in there. And that's, again, like, don't be intimidated, but this is just, a comprehensive packet of everything that's in there. I think I see a question that may have come through. Are there page limits, Brother Taylor? No, there's no page limit at all. It can be as short or as long as you want it. I will say that, if we get a 2-pager compared to a 10-pager, I don't want to say that the 10-pager, is better, but there's probably more of a possibility that they have more information. So I don't want you to like try and take 2 pages of stuff and then just put just a little bit just to make it 10 pages. But definitely, put the information in there. That's all it is. It's just, whatever the category is asking for, just put that in there, as much as you can. And that's pretty much it. So now that you've seen that, are there any more questions that anybody has thought of? And Brother Cade, I saw that your hand was raised. Were you, um, did you have a question? All right, so that's pretty much all that I have. I hope that this was helpful to you, and just providing some insight on, how we do awards in our chapter. Again, this is something that, we want to make sure that, brothers are recognized, as well as give you a vehicle to move forward to other awards. Because, I mean, when you really think about it, our awards are due May 31st. The awards program, I'm kind of going back to the kind of the model that I was doing, or at least trying to do a few years ago, which was putting the awards into a, to put the awards along with our chapter anniversary. Um, there was some time that the awards were put together with our cotillion, and that was just as a matter of convenience until we worked out our chapter anniversary event. And it was meant for the awards to be tied to the chapter anniversary. Of course, last year with COVID, that even got thrown off. So we did them as 2 separate events. But this year, the plan is that our chapter anniversary and our awards will be together, and that will be done during the actual anniversary in June. So once you're awarded in June, then, for those of you that have awards that continue to the district level, then district is in November. But when you think about it, you already have your portfolio. You have, and to be honest with you, the criteria is in line with the district, actually the national awards criteria. So when you have all of that stuff in your portfolio for the chapter, essentially you have a good bit of the stuff that you need to continue to compete. So the only thing that's different is that when you go to the district level, you will have to put, depending upon the category, you will have to put together a display as well as a presentation before the judges. But that's more so the easy part. Usually when we do this, we start with like, okay, what's the material? Like, we need your material first. And that's what you're submitting in your portfolio. So when you have that already in June, and if you're going to move forward to the district level, then that means that we still have, a couple of months that, if let's say that you are lacking something in a certain area, if let's say that for the national programs, you have a lot of stuff for, let's say, go to high school, go to college, you may work with our mentoring initiative, you do a lot of that stuff, but you may not have, something in another area. Then that gives us some time that we can work with you and look at what programs we have coming up, and sometimes even make programs so that you can start to get the materials that you need to build upon that. And then when we go to district, then we're taking that material, putting it into a display, helping you perfect your presentation, and you're ready. So, in a sense, this is just to help you along that journey, especially if you're looking to kind of go all the way with it. So let me see if there's any other questions that came in. Keep them coming. Nope, I don't see any. So that pretty much is it, brothers. Again, I really hope that this was informative for you. I will be available. You have my contact information. So if you have any questions or anything along the way, then feel free to contact me. But I really do want to, see brothers in the chapter more engaged this year with our awards program. And it's not to say that I'm expecting that, that we get 50 brothers to, submit e-portfolio. Now that would be great, but that's definitely not my expectation, to have 50 brothers submit e-portfolios. However, every brother can be engaged in our awards some type of way. So even if you're not planning on, applying for one of the individual awards, a brother in the chapter that, you've seen do some great things, you can submit a nomination for, one of the Spirit Awards. That's very simple for you to do. When it's time to, when we have 5 brothers competing for one of the Spirit Awards or Committee of the Year, and, I send out that ballot to the chapter, say, hey, brothers, I need for you to vote for a Committee of the Year. That's a chance that everybody in the chapter can be engaged in this process. At least submit your vote on who you think should represent the chapter in that capacity. So that's really my goal, is to just have brothers engage some type of way in this process. So with that, I thank you all for coming tonight. And I hope that we'll see you being engaged and definitely spreading the word to the chapter, that, they can do this as well. And for any of you that's connected to our college chapters, definitely encouraging them to do the same thing, especially applying for our College Brother of the Year. And, even working with them. And my committee does work with the college chapters as well. If they're interested in competing for certain awards, we're here to support them as well. So I think we're pretty much at time, and I am going to stop talking. So again, thank you, brothers, and you all have a great evening. Take care.